Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to another episode of the SoFLo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade. And tonight, Friday Eve, we are just 2 days away from the 4th of July. America's turning 250 years old. And let's be honest, a fan favorite holiday for many people.
Yeah, no doubt. And today's the most Friday feeling Thursday of all time, right? It feels like Friday. Most people have the day off tomorrow. Not our guest, though. He's going to be busy working. Big event tomorrow. An event that's been captivating the country, if you will. And yes, you're right. It is the 250th birthday of America. So wherever you're celebrating, hope you have a great time. Enjoy. Be safe. Come back with all your digits. Don't be like a couple of former NFL players that lost their fingers shooting off fireworks. So be safe.
Yes. Before we get into anything else, just want to give a shout out to Dad's Figure It Out, Miguel. We have a new partner of the show. We're going to have him on a future episode real soon. He has a great nonprofit that does a lot for not only the South Florida community, but so many other communities. So thank you to Miguel and Dad's Figure It Out. We're excited to be partnering with you and a lot of good work to come.
Absolutely. Great things that Miguel does. And we're happy to put it out there, share with everybody the amazing things that he's doing, and looking forward to doing a lot of events with him.
All right, so back to 4th of July. It's going to be a hot weekend for many, many people. In fact, the Northeast is under like a severe heat warning, but that's not the only thing that's heating up. South Florida sports has been wild. A lot of trades, free agency. Obviously, the big ones are, the Heat and the Panthers. Cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. But let's not forget those red hot Miami Marlins. Yes, I said it. The red hot Miami Marlins. So hot in June, off to a little bad start in July, but you know what? It's 2 days in. Everything's going to be okay.
Absolutely. And look, we also got to talk about the World Cup, right? The World Cup, like I said, is captivating the nation. And, Team USA, monster victory last night. They're next playing up against Belgium on July the 6th. So they're rocking and rolling. So we got a lot to talk about. And we're going to do it with our guest, special guest, our friend of the program. We were with him a couple of weeks ago or last week during the Heat draft. So, guys, without further ado, let's bring in the one, the only, from WSN7, Josh Moser, the Mose Nose in the house. Josh, great to see you as always. Thank you for joining us.
You got it. Happy 4th. I love the outfits, the colors on, Panthers hat. Never doubt, Ash. Never doubt.
Red, white, and blue, baby.
I mean, and it does help that USA is still in the World Cup, so a little love for the soccer team. Obviously, they had a big win yesterday, which very ugly game, very, very aggressive, a lot of dirty hits on both sides. But you know what? Happy birthday, America, and let's go USA in the World Cup.
Yeah, 250.
Yes, it's she's an old one. She's getting old. She's getting up there. She's an old girl. Anyways, Josh, you have been a busy, busy, busy guy. So much has been going on in South Florida sports. Kind of really started up, obviously Miami hosting the World Cup. And then we found out first Brady Tkachuk to the Panthers and then Miami Heat. But I want to start with Miami Heat because kind of it's like my favorite story. Giannis Antetokounmpo is taking his talents to South Beach. This has been like a rumor probably for like the last year or so, and I don't like to go on the rumor train.
I mean, it's been trending for a while. Giannis has always been a target of the Heat.
Yeah. On a side note, he has been my favorite non-Heat player for a very, very long time. Lou has never let me get his jersey because he's very against me getting any players' jerseys who are not part of our team. But I have begged and pleaded for it, but I did get his shoes. So anyways, let's talk a little bit about what transpired. It seemed like it happened almost like at midnight, where if you were not up or if you didn't get the alert, you found out about it that morning. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Porter Jr. come to the Heat. Here, I got you. Bobby Porter Jr. come to the Heat. Here it is. It was the tweet that I know. Where do you want to go?
Shams.
Here it is. All right. So this is the blockbuster trade. Milwaukee Bucks, they traded Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis Jr. to the Heat. And in return, the Bucks got a lot. The Bucks got Tyler Hero, which after what we're hearing, peace, good riddance. And then, I mean, I know you saw those DMs and stuff too. Like it's not
mid-range DMs. Yeah, we can talk about the mid-range DMs.
Yeah, and then so Tyler Hero's out, Khalil Ware, fan favorite Jaime Jaquez, Kasparas Jakuchunas, who we just didn't see enough of him, and then some draft picks. So I want to start off by asking you, Did we give up too much for Giannis and Bobby Porter Jr.?
No. Look, this is a risky move, but you got to take a risk if you want to land a whale. And, for 5 years, the Heat have wanted Giannis to come. And he's been a target for a very long time. This was essentially the same offer that they made at the trade deadline. So the Heat were willing to do this deal. And, for everyone that says, did they give up too much? The answer is, can they put a team around Giannis? And bam. And we're starting to see that now fill out. And there's still a couple moves left to make before this becomes official on July 6th. So this team and this front office, they have a plan in place. They have specific targets. And, there are going to be a couple names that come to join this team in the next few days. And, we'll see. But I think that this instantly moves them out of the play-in conversation. They should be a top 4 team in the East. And if you remember going back to when this team traded for Shaq, it wasn't year 1, but it was year 2 that they won the title. And if you look at the way that the contract's set up, specifically with Andrew Wiggins opting in, taking more money this year, the 30.1, freeing up the flexibility for next year, the 2027-28, that's really the window. And if you think about it, let's zoom out for a second. And you're just like, all right, year 1, new players, new team, you're going to completely build an offense. Give Spo a little bit of runway to just operate. Like, it's going to take some time for you to build an offense around Giannis. And now year 1, you work out the kinks. Year 2, let's fucking go. So it makes a lot of sense to me why they did it this way. There was a report out from Bill Simmons that I saw that the Celtics were only willing to offer Giannis a 2-year extension on the max contract. And Miami's obviously going to do more. I can tell you that Giannis is going to be introduced in a couple weeks. So, it gives the Heat a little bit more time to, work some deals. And obviously the LeBron James factor is still floating out there as well, which I know has fans, clenching their teeth and crossing their fingers, hoping that can happen. But this team has a plan. Will LeBron play for next season? I'm just seeing something coming to the chat.
Yeah.
As it sits right now, like, I am not close with LeBron James. I was not here covering him. Granted, I am from Los Angeles. To me, if the reporting is true that the Cavs, the Heat, and the Warriors are the, favorites to land him, of the 3, the Warriors make the most sense. And I understand now that with Jaylen Brown and the 76ers, like, what he could do there also makes sense from a roster perspective. But if we're looking at the Cavs, with the owner, Gilbert, there's still bad blood there in the way that he left. Yes, you have the money now to pay him because James Harden opted out of his deal. But if you really look at that roster, who's LeBron on that team? Like, is he really going to want to spend his last, year essentially with Spida? He's not close with Max Strus. He's not close with Evan Mobley. He's not close with. He knows James Harden. I can tell you the two, are, the thickest thieves, but, they know each other. And with the Heat, you're going to come down here and Pat Riley's going to want to win. I mean, this could be Pat's last year. I mean, this is going to be all business. And if you think about it, his entire world's in LA. And to me, that's why the Warriors make the most sense, because you're closest to home. You have your other son who's at the University of Arizona who's going to play. You still have your daughter. You have a quick flight up to San Francisco from Los Angeles. And then you look at the team. Like, how long has LeBron been talking about playing with Steph Curry? And you've got his brother there, Seth. You've got Jimmy Butler, if he's healthy. Remember, he could get traded as well. Draymond is one of his closest friends. And so, to me, it makes the most sense. You've got Mike Dunleavy calling the shots as the GM, who LeBron is very close with. So, to me, there's no pressure there. Like, you're not going to compete with Oklahoma City. You're not going to compete with San Antonio. And you're probably behind the Lakers at this point. But if it's truly about happiness and not money, that's going to essentially be, the fit. Yeah, love the Panthers hat. So to me, of those 3, the Warriors would be my best guess. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for Giannis. I'm excited for who they're going to add around him. And, the question is I don't know what we're going to do, guys, come October, because between the Panthers and the Heat, when they've got games on the same night, we need to get with both leagues and say, like the finals and the playoffs, like we've seen where they put the same freaking teams at the same night.
Why?
I need alternate nights because
Yeah.
otherwise we're going to need multiple TVs because I think it's going to be an absolute popcorn session, especially when the playoffs hit.
We're going to have to clone another Josh Moser to get you at both arenas.
Kind of like the FIFA president. You see that where he was at 2 matches at the same time? He's like, oh, no, that's not AI.
Yeah. And Josh, you mentioned Pat Riley. I mean, we have to give shout out to Pat Riley because people, say, oh, he's an old guy, he doesn't know what he's doing, but he did it again. And even just yesterday, found out Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming to the Heat as well. And this is will be the second duel currently in South Florida, obviously with Jeff Conine and his son. So love to see it. Any indication if he's going to be wearing number 10?
He will not be wearing number 10.
Okay,
yeah, Dad came out and basically said, that's my legacy. It ain't coming down from the rafters. Like, you make your own. Is what it is. I mean, there was a time where the two didn't speak. But look, like, Tim Hardaway Jr. is down here all the time. He went to high school down here, obviously watched his dad play. He still loves Liv. He's at Liv all the time still. But this is what we're talking about when, you can – the South Florida lifestyle. He knows what this is all about. And you talk about where he finished in the 6th man of the year voting and what he shoots at percentage-wise from 3 and how many he was putting up a game. It was like close to 7, over a 40% clip. Like, that's a perfect fit for what this team needs. And it's the same with Bobby Portis Jr. He's the same, a big that can stretch the floor. So those two, to me, were perfect fits. You want to float the name, Bradley Beal out there, who they've been after forever, and they were going to give him a ton of money. Could he possibly come now on a minimum contract? We know Chris Middleton's another name to watch. So, they've got a couple more roster spots to fill out, and depending on what LeBron decides to do, Pat Riley says, hey, the keys are always under the mat. We'll see what happens. But we know that, his camp, they're going around to every single team to see what interest is actually there. And they're hearing offers, they're listening to offers, and then they're going to be taking to LeBron, and Rich Paul's going to say, all right, LeBron, where do you want to go? And then we'll see if he brings his talents back to South Beach, even though they don't play on South Beach. But to me, I wouldn't be putting my money on that.
But you got to stay tuned. But let's talk about what the roster looks like now. So he brought back Andrew Wiggins on a 3-year deal, $30 million this upcoming season, and then very Heat-friendly $17 million and $17 million for the next 2 years. He does have a player option, but again, that contract signing helps the Heat to maybe have more flexibility. Pelle Larsson, who's an absolute dog, who we're very excited that was not in the deal for Giannis. He's back and likely to sign an extension as well. You got Simone Fontecchio, very, uneven
minimum
season last year, but
he's going to be better. He's going to be better for this team.
Yep.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of sucks is, we were talking about Duncan Robinson, and it looks like he's going to stay. He'd be the perfect fit. He was not a fit on last year's team, but he would have been perfect. But again, like, the real season doesn't start until after the All-Star break. So we got time. Like, I wouldn't be worried, like, going in training camp here if, the Heat or whatever. Like, we've seen them as an 8 seed make a run. So, just pump the brakes. They're going to be just fine. And then if they need to add a piece, they'll add a piece. But really, again, it's that 27-28 season. But amazing that, like, when we were talking about this earlier, like, it was either going to be Pelle Larsson, Yakachonis, and basically Nico. Like, if you could keep 2 of those, or even Davion Mitchell, like, if you could keep 2 of those 3, the 3 guards, you were doing good. Like, at least they didn't get both. I know Jaime Jaquez was a fan favorite here.
Yeah.
And, but what is he really going to give you? He's a great role player. You can play around him, but he's not a superstar. And Kel'el Ware has the opportunity to be a superstar, but it just depends on if he wants to play every night and how hard does he want to work. And, he was in Spo's doghouse for a while, kind of reminded of the White Side days, if you will, if you're an old school Heat fan. But yeah, we'll see what happens here with this team. But Heat fans, I'd be very, very excited. And look, you end up as a 4 or 5 seed. That's all you need to do.
Nothing wrong with that. I know Ash got a question, but a couple other guys. We missed out on Anthony Simons. The Heat, we're targeting him. Didn't work out, but that's fine. Another 2 guys to look out on the radar is Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan if they get bought out. If they get bought out, those are veteran guys, and there's a chance that they may end up here. So something to look out for.
All right, Josh, one more question on Giannis because I can literally talk about him all day. I can't wait to get the jersey and everything. So you covered the Bucks, you know, when you have your tenure in Green Bay and Milwaukee. So I want to know, what are Heat fans getting from Giannis coming to Miami on and off the court? What type of dog is he?
Yeah, I mean, I covered him in 2019 and 2020. So like that first MVP year, and then they obviously won the title the next year after the bubble. But a lot's changed in the last 5 years. But Giannis is a family man. It's kind of crazy. His wife's cousin is Chris Haynes, the national reporter. So it was really funny that he was saying, "Oh, the Celtics are the favorite to land him the night before the draft," and then it was the Heat, you know, the 11th hour at midnight. But we always knew that he was coming to the Heat. Giannis is fun. Like, he's a really fun personality. He's obviously older now at 31, but you know, he wants to win. And you know, when you talk about somebody from a basketball perspective, is, you know, he simply does things that others cannot do physically. And everyone's talking about Wemby. When Giannis is healthy, there's no one better. And he's, in my opinion, still a top 5 player in the league.
Yes.
You're talking about him shooting at over 60% clip. I don't care if it's a dunk or whatever, or you want to talk about his mid-range clips. It's not going to matter, because when you can draw 2 and 3 defenders and keep them in the paint, and then all of a sudden you've got Tim Hardaway Jr. and all these guys that can be spot-up shooters, you know, like Allen Houston back in the day, that's all they're really trying to do. And can you put up 120 points a night doing that? Probably can. But then again, defensively, to me, there's no better front court in basketball than him and Bam. And I just don't know, in a playoff situation with Davion Mitchell on the outside, and then potentially if you add another piece and if Pelle Larson takes a step, how you're going to score on this team. I mean, I don't see you putting up 125 points a night.
You can't. If you go past Bam, you have Giannis. You go past Giannis, you have Bam. No one's getting past that.
Right. So, I mean, again, like, you've got Bobby Portis as well, who's got a lot of size. So, and he knows how Giannis plays. So, you know, it's all about just finding the right fit. And then with Spo, you know, we saw in the beginning of the season last year, like, Spo took, we got rid of the pick and roll. Like, it went to a complete spread formation. Like, you give him enough time, he's going to build this thing out. Obviously, you want to start with principles that, you know, Bam is comfortable with. So probably a lot of pick and roll situations. But again, the mismatches that he creates with his size and his length and the speed and his skill set, he's just so unique. And it's going to cause problems for whoever's on defense. And that's why he's a 10-time All-Star.
It's extraordinary.
Josh, if I want to follow this up, though, with something, and I don't know if your contacts there still back in Milwaukee, if they know more currently, because, look, Miles Turner did come out of on a podcast saying that he wasn't showing up to meetings. And now, granted, he's 13 years in Milwaukee. The writing was on the wall that he was going to be moved. But do you think there's any truth to that? Or, you know, do we have another Jimmy Butler situation in our hands? Is it a disgruntled Giannis or a motivated Giannis coming to town?
No, you're gonna get a motivated Giannis coming. And, you know, Miles Turner is, you know, like, look, is he going to be traded? Because now you got Kyle Ware is probably going to want to be the starting center. So, you know, and I wouldn't read into Tyler Hero's, you know, DMs either, you know, too much. But again, like, look, it's everybody's salty. Like, you know, it's tough. Like, your window is so short and you want to win. And, you know, I think Tyler deserves to get his flowers here. Honestly, I don't see like why everyone's so, you know, mean to him as he leaves town. I mean, this guy led the team in scoring one season, was a 6th man of the year. You know, unfortunately, he dives for a ball in the playoffs in the first round and breaks his wrist. But like, if that doesn't happen, he, in my opinion, probably win the finals. But, you know, look, he was a good player. He was an all-star.
He paid his dues here. I mean,
look, you're a lottery pick out of Kentucky, you know, but he's, you know, he was a good player for the Heat. Like, there's nothing to take away, but we talk about the Panthers all the time. And, you know, I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second. But Bill Zito, to me, might be the best GM, certainly at all of South Florida, all of hockey. He might be one of the best general managers in sports. Just the way that he understands what his team needs and who to bring in. And if you look at the moves that he made, it's just incredible, like, what he was able to achieve. And his players love playing for him. I love talking to him. He's, you know, certainly a different cat, the way that his brain works. And if I'm an opposing GM in hockey, like, I don't know why I would even do a deal with him. Like, I just would say no. Like, but he somehow finds a way to get it done. And
speaking of Bill Zito, Robert Tracy, good friend of ours, wants to know, like, straight up, what addition are you most excited for? Is it more of the Giannis with the Heat, or, speaking of the Panthers, which you just let us into, is it more Panther side? What are you most excited for?
No, I mean, it's Giannis. Like, like, no disrespect to Brady. I'm so excited to see Brady, and like, it's going to be a fucking goon squad, and I can't wait. But it's kind of one of those things where like, I'm trying to temper my expectations because nothing matters until the playoffs. And you just got to hope that everybody stays healthy until then. And it's really just a big roll of the dice. But when you're talking about Giannis, like, you guys are going to meet him. I mean, when you stand next to Giannis, like, it's just different. Like,
I cannot wait.
You know, like the way that he moves and everything about him is just so different. And just what he is, there's no comparison. But I'm more excited for the Panthers as a team over the, like, I'm so excited, like, with bringing Radko Gudas back, the addition that they got from Philly and the Flyers, like, he's a fucking thumper. And like, this goalie, obviously Jacob Markstrom was here. That's the only thing that I really can't figure out is he's making $6 million. Bob took a deal for $7 million. And I know that they gave him 3 years. And we're talking about 2 versus 3 years, all right, 20 mil. But like, you're really going to leave over $1 million? Like, now, an interesting note that Bill Zito told me, of all Russian-born players that are Russian citizens, 10% of the salary goes back to the Kremlin. But to me, on top of that, now you're going to go play in Toronto, where you're going to be taxed in Canadian, which I believe is 50%, and versus playing for over $1 million in Florida, like, where you're going to play half your games. It almost feel like the math would balance out. Like, it's going to be a little bit more, but like, we're talking maybe $100,000, $200,000. Like, so I'm curious as to why. Now, if you go play for the Maple Leafs and you have any modicum of success, or even if you don't, like, you can go back to Toronto at any point in your life and you can sign autographs to make $100,000. Like, it's Hockey Central. So from that perspective, I understand. From a long term, when you talk about legacy, he's already won the Cups, he's won the Benzina trophies. But I mean, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for Jacob Markstrom and see what he can kind of do. And I'm just excited for that defense that's going to be in front of him. I mean, it is going to be a time in Sunrise at Amerant Bank. And
so we found out on Father's Day. It was Brady Tkachuk comes to the Panthers.
Yeah, Dad Hall of Fame.
And another, and you know, we did again give up a lot here, right? A lot of prospects, a lot of
but so what?
Yeah, you got to go for it.
It's fine.
That pairs up with his brother.
But like, this is the thing. Like, look at the Rams as a prime example. All right, you know, F them picks, right?
Every year.
But you won the Super Bowl. So like, if you ask most GMs around the league, like, you can never be taken away as a champion. Like, your window is, I mean, it's not just this year. Like, the Panthers are set for like 5 years. Like, again, Bill Zito, mastermind. Like, your window's now. And if he leaves or whatever, it's very easy to go to the next GM and say, hey, look, you know, we had a Stanley Cup ready roster. I went all in for these 3 years. It's going to be, you know, this is our window. Like, we could win multiple Stanley Cups. Like, I don't care about a pick in 2030 or a second rounder in 2031. Like, go ahead. Great. I love Evan Rodriguez, but is he going to be a huge difference maker on this? Yes, for Boquist? Probably not. But like, you look at what they gave Radko on his deal, like, it's 6 years at a, you know, 1.5 a year, so that they could make the numbers work. No problem paying him 1.5. He may not even play for that long. The same with Marchand. Like, as long as the average salary is there. And this is where, you know, you talk about the NFL having void years on contracts so that they can get the number, but they're going to pay him, you know, later on. It's the same concept. So, I mean, I think they could win. They could certainly make multiple appearances in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I can tell you that the rest of the teams in the Eastern Conference were so happy that the Panthers took a year off and were hurt. Yeah. Because, I mean, look, the Canes wouldn't have been there. Like,
no,
there's no chance. And they knew it. Like, this was their year. Like, the stars aligned, but they were never getting past the Panthers. And yeah, look, they, you know, now they can say they're Stanley Cup champs, and that's it. Are you really going to care that you traded a first round pick on a prospect that may or may not ever hit? No. So,
and so, you know, and you brought it up, the fact that, you know, you did give up 2 fan favorites, Evan Rodriguez and AJ Greer was a big fan favorite as well. But look, you bring back some familiar faces, and Jacob Markstrom, as you talked about, and also Radko Gudas, which I'm super excited. That guy is an animal. I love that guy. So
yeah, I'm gonna get high fives again with Sasha. Like, you know, it's about fit, and like, this is where the Dolphins have sucked. And I'm so excited for Jeff Hafley to come in here with John Eric Sullivan. Like, the team just hate each other. Like, 2023 was great, and then they all just got hurt. and then that was it. That was their window was gone. But you got to find guys that like each other, that want to be around each other, and like it's hard going out there. But yeah, like you got to find. It's not so the best players, but the best pieces that fit together. And Zito, to me, is the mastermind at that.
No doubt. He is the man. And shout out to Dwayne Wilson, our buddy out there in Anaheim, California, where we got Radko back from. Sorry, Dwayne, but you're going to love AJ Greer, so don't worry about it. It's even, if you will.
And AJ got paid. So, I mean, I'm feeling bad. Like, AJ's making more money than Radko. Like, he wins. That's why Radko went to Anaheim in the first place. And it's great because he missed out on the Cups because he had that great run when they lost to the Golden Knights, and now here he is coming back for a chance to win one. And honestly, like I put some money down for them to win. The odds were great. Like, why not?
What Bill Zito's doing here, he's not just building this to see hockey in April and May. He's doing this to win another cup, and that's super exciting.
Multiple.
And we can't wait. We're here for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, and they can trade somebody. Like, I hate to say it, like someone would take Verhaeghe or Reinhardt in a heartbeat. Like, even with those contracts. And I mean, you just locked up Eetu Luostarinen again on an 8-year deal. Like, it's amazing to me, how he thinks and how he maneuvers, and just a lot of respect for what he does.
Absolutely. I want to take you back to Bob here, though. 2 cups, right? He went to 3 Stanley Cup Finals, won the last 2, and obviously this past year was a lost season with all the injuries, but with those 2 cups. And the Panthers having only retired 1 jersey, and that's Roberto Luongo's number 1. Do you think the goaltender is the most revered player on the hockey team? Do you think that Bob's going to get his number retired, his number 72, going to go up to the rafters?
I think he's definitely got a chance. I mean, obviously, Sasha Barkov's that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know on Bob. Like, he didn't win a Vezina here. That'd be the only knock. I'm to me, the only thing would be Sasha. Like, I think Sasha's definitely happening. You could make an argument for Huberdeau, even though he's been gone. But I just don't see Bob doing enough here. Like, he was great, don't get me wrong. But when you talk about best in the franchise, like, I don't think he's on the same level as Roberto Luongo, personally. And like, when we talk about longevity and,
no doubt,
and all of that. So that'd be my only knock on him. Is he a better goaltender than Roberto? Probably.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? 100%. But if we're talking about truly getting a jersey retired for the franchise, I think he's got some work to do. And I think if Matthew Tkachuk wins another one here, I think he could be in the running for one. But yeah, Sasha Barkov, it's definitely it's gonna know it's gonna wear 16 ever again.
Perfect. Let's go back really quick here because our buddy Russ from Philadelphia is in the room. So let's just go back to the NBA really quick here. And what did you think of all these moves, specifically that crazy trade that it looked like Philadelphia robbed Boston by trading Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, I mean, that whole situation got weird. Like, if this Bill Simmons report is true about how they were only going to give Giannis a 2-year deal and they were really shopping Jaylen Brown, then they had to move him. Like, NBA is tough. NBA is just so different from anything else because the players have so much control. Like, the superstars, they can kind of dictate what they want. And I mean, look, like, if Embiid's healthy, I mean, with Maxey, him, you got Dean Wade's gotten better. Like, there's some pieces there. I mean, now you throw LeBron in that mix if it happens. Like, they're going to be a team. Like, they're a squad. I think the Cavs, as it sits, like, I think they'd have to trade Jarrett Allen to get LeBron. Like, there's some moves that they'd have to make. I don't think they're necessarily going to do that. But obviously, they have the Knicks. The Celtics, as they stand when Jason Tatum's healthy, are always dangerous. I think people forget that Tyrese Halliburton's going to be healthy again, and they got Zubats from, the Clippers that played this year. So, like, they were playing again for this season. I know they made the finals, but they were so hurt. But you got some teams in the East. I think the Magic could be better. But yeah, the East is going to be a dogfight. I honestly think the Western Conference is going to be easier than the East. I understand that Oklahoma City's still them, and the Spurs are going to get better too. But we'll see what Detroit does as well. Like, we got time. Like, a lot's going to happen between now and next June. But again, like NBA season, I ain't looking at anything until after that All-Star break in February.
All right, switching gears real quick. I'd be remorse if we didn't speak about those hot Miami Marlins. They had a franchise best record in June. They went 20-6. What do they call it? Us 12 fans out there fighting fish. They lost the last two in Colorado. Okay, 0-2 in July. I'm not sweating it. They head to Sacramento. So what do you think about these fighting fish? Are we going to see a nice run from them in October?
No. Absolutely not.
Gosh.
Look, this is the Marlins MO. Like, you got the All-Star break coming up, and it's who are they going to trade? And we're like, are they going to have enough to compete? You're sitting in third in the division right now. And this is the hard part. Like, next year might get interesting as they introduce that salary floor, because I think, the payroll is, what, 90 million? I don't think it's less. So, like, is somebody going to take Sandy? Is somebody going to take Yuri? Like, do you deal Max Meyer at this point? Like, you don't have a fourth starter. You're throwing a bullpen game. Braxton Garrett's not the same from his injury. You traded Ryan Weathers. You traded Cabrera. Like really, what do you want? Is Otto Lopez? Are you going to get something for him? Do you have too many outfielders now with Stowers now that Conine's back? What are you going to do? Like,
Harry Berto, you're stacked up.
You've got a lot of pieces. It was kind of crazy. We're talking about Agustin Ramirez and the Gus bus, and then all of a sudden, Joe Mack comes in here and he's light years better.
That's a rough subject for me, Josh. I love Augustine. In fact, we actually drove up to Jacksonville a few weeks ago. I got to meet him.
Yeah.
And
super nice.
He looks like that dog in the shelter that you just want to bring back home. And he's such a nice guy. And
but
right, Joe Mack came and it's the Joe Mack show.
Yeah, but I mean, like, are you going to move Stowers to first base? Like, what are you going to do? Like, so, we'll see what Bendix decides to do, and they got a lot of young pieces, but at some point you got to pay these people, and you got to figure out how to compete with the Dodgers. And when you're paying 6 or 7 times what the Marlins are paying, it's a tall task. But you guys have lived here a long time. Like, you want to put people in the seats, win.
Got to win.
And right now the Marlins, they don't show you that they can. Amazing. Hey, 20-6 in June. Great. But be 20-6 in August. Be 20-6 in September. And I don't know if necessarily we're going to see that. Unfortunately, I wish I were more bullish on the Marlins, but history has shown that this is where they sell the team off. And can you be buyers? But, like, what are you really going to add at this point that's going to move you from third in the division up to the top when you're competing against, the Braves, the Phillies, the Mets are in the cellar, Nationals are right there too. So it's like you're just in an expensive division. Like, I don't think really the goal is to compete. Their thing is to get their, development and their minor league system, super ready to go and build from the inside. So we'll see what happens, but
they're hanging in right now. As you see there, they're half a game out the wild card. So, we're going to have hope here, and let's hope that they can, keep their players. So I want to check into the room once again, guys. We're joined by the great Josh Moser. He's going to be covering a big game tomorrow, World Cup. So, definitely look out for that. Channel 7, and he's going to let you know all about that. I want to check into the room really quick. Bobby Finn's talking.
Bobby, what's up, man?
What's going on, Bobby? Denver Mark rubbing in with his Rockies, salvaging the split in the series earlier today. And also shout out to Kirk. He's recovering from knee surgery. So, and Tim in the room also with him there. So Tim, Kirk, shout out to you guys. Big Philadelphia 76ers fan. And wow, Jaylen Brown, that was a tremendous move. So, all right, let's get back to it here. The World Cup.
In the Marlins real quick, how about that into the park home run? Just got a shout out on that.
Yeah, I mean, Mac truck it up. Like, let's go. But it's like,
that's pretty cool, though.
If you're going to do it at Coors Field, right? Actually, that's also where Ichiro got his 3,000 hit on a triple.
It's one of the best sunsets in baseball. Like, it's an awesome stadium. I lived there. I worked there, covered the Rockies there for 3 years. Yeah, it was a blast. I miss that park.
It is
downtown down there. Great time.
Yeah. No, Lodo, right? They call it Lodo still?
Oh, yeah, lower downtown.
That's right.
Yeah, I used to live in the ballpark lofts way back when. It's still there.
Wow.
So, like, Josh, before we let you go, obviously the biggest story going around the world, I mean, our world, obviously it's Giannis and the Panthers, but the big world story is the World Cup. We're officially in the knockout round. This is pretty much the most up-to-date, minus Spain winning today. So yesterday, USA won 2-0. Their next matchup is going to be against Belgium, which they cannot take Belgium very lightly. This World Cup has been interesting. Everything from dramatic upsets to penalty shootouts, breakout stars, some teams who you didn't think could be there, like a Morocco's fighting their way. The Mbappe's doing excellent. Just, it's so much fun. So many great stories.
Messi, come on.
Obviously, Messi's the obvious story.
Who's he?
But below.
Who's that guy? What's his name?
Who is that guy? The GOAT? What?
Messi Mania, right? So, Josh, the FIFA, you're covering it over at Miami Stadium, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Stadium.
Joe Robbie, whatever you want to say.
What's it like covering it? Just give us a little insight. How do you feel covering it? What sights and sounds?
Way different feel than an NFL game. The Portugal-Colombia game was so much fun. I would say the coolest part, though, and probably you guys too, is just seeing everybody take over the city and how much fun people are really seeing, like what Miami's all about. And
Our team and Army, amazing.
Exactly. And soccer is just different, and it's really not part of our American culture. I think American football has just always been the dominant force here, and it will continue to be. I'm not trying to take anything away from soccer, but it's really cool where you have kids that had never touched a soccer ball, and all of a sudden now they're out in the backyard trying to copy some of these moves that they see. And especially with the Latin community here we have in South Florida, we're people that were not familiar with the game are, enjoying it. I went to Fritz and Franz for the U.S. game last night to watch it there with a bunch of people. And, it's like you got to get involved. Like, it's more of a party. It's not so much about the soccer. I'm going to be real with you. Like, it's just, you could call it that it's scripted. You could say that FIFA's corrupt. You could say that the red card on Balogun is bullshit, which it was. Are they purposely like trying to take away from the Americans? They don't want to do well. There's a bunch of, him and Han. But I think just as a global event, I mean, you're talking about the Olympics. You're talking about, something on that caliber, which Los Angeles is going to host here in 2028. But the World Cup is just special. And we're going to have the quarterfinal match here, which will be great. But like tomorrow night, look, we're so spoiled with Messi. And I think the coolest thing is, you guys are here. Like, I don't know. Like, there's no one that has the type of influence that he has. Like, and then to have a guy that's like in a car and people like mobbing him at a red light and he's lowering his window to sign autographs to the kids, like that's like Michael Jackson, Beatles, like that doesn't happen. And now everybody with cell phones, like no one cares anymore. But Messi just has that, aura about him that's just special and different. And the question was, could he compete on this stage? Because he's been in the MLS, which is the junior varsity league, and here he scored 6 goals in 3 matches, 7 in a row. Like, at 39, what he's doing, as good as Mbappe is going to be, he'll overtake the record. And I think France is going to win the whole thing just because of the deepest team.
That was my next question to you. Looking at the bracket, who do you see in the finals? And so how do you see that kind of panning out?
Go ahead. Well, guys, if you're watching over our next, come over to YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, show Josh some love. And yes, while we asked Josh for his prediction, maybe we should give our predictions first and then get Josh's. But in
the World Cup time.
In the room, drop your prediction.
I got my bracket. Let me grab my bracket right here.
Grab your bracket. There you go. And guys in the room, go ahead and put down who you think. Here's the bracket. Spain did win today, and there's a game going on right now.
We got still tied at 0, so we're doing good. Portugal and Croatia. Portugal, look, this is one of the best teams that Portugal's had in a long time. But frankly, they're trying to play so that they can feature Ronaldo. And Ronaldo's just not as good as he used to be. He's not doing what Messi's doing. And I understand he's 41. He's the biggest player in their country. But you got to play a style that's going to allow your team to win. And you got to put the pride aside. And basically, Portugal's not doing that. So I see them advancing. They're going to somehow beat Croatia. They're going to lose to Spain on the next round is my prediction. But the way that this works with Argentina, Balogun's the perfect example. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Messi. But if you put the clip of Messi where no foul was called, making contact with a defender's, back heel, same thing to Balogun. And Balogun got red carded. Nothing happened to Messi. And Messi's the golden child. We get it. Right. You could go back to 2022 about I'm going to call it the phantom call in the box that allowed him to make the PK to send it to overtime, which they won. So it is what it is. But I think Argentina is going to make it all the way to the final. I think France wins it this year just because I I foresee that happening. It's just the way that it sets up. But I loved that Morocco won, and I think a lot of people are surprised. Yeah, like England, I mean, shoot, they were on the ropes. I mean, Harry Kane came in here and just, I think that's another really cool thing about the World Cup. Like, if you look at the stars, like Harry Kane, you've got Mbappe, you've got Messi, you could put Erling Haaland in that same category. You know, like the guys have delivered. And I think that's been the coolest part, where your stars have really been stars. But yeah, we'll see what England can do here. I did have them advancing. I have them losing to Argentina in the semifinal. So I did have US beating Belgium initially. Belgium's got the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. So without Balogun, it's going to be tough. He's a special player on that team. A crazy story, though. Did you guys know that? So he's in England. Could have played for England. Could have played for a couple different countries. But when he was born, his mom was visiting her sister, and she was 7 months pregnant. And basically, she was going to fly home, and the airline basically said, "You're too pregnant. You got to stay." Oh. Ended up having her baby. Now him, Flo Balogun, in America, and that's how was able to play for the US. So like, to me, like that's a super cool story that a lot of people don't know about. But I wouldn't say that USA is shocking the world. I would say that the expectation was for them to get to the round of 16 and advance the quarterfinals. Like, I think, you know, this is exactly what they're supposed to do. You know, and yeah, I'm curious to see what happens.
Croatia just scored right now.
There we go.
It's 1-0.
Watching the replay. Oh, look, is he onside? You know, now they're going to run it through the VAR. Is he onside? Oh, yeah, way onside. Great goal. But
you mentioned England. There was a really funny tweet. England lost the game during the group stage, and somebody, I don't know if it was the announcer, somebody tweeted out, well, because they were playing in Boston. And the guy said, well, you know, England doesn't have the greatest record on Massachusetts. That was pretty funny. I love that. Pretty funny. So
yeah, I mean, we're gonna have ourselves a tea party when they lose. You know, it'll be great.
I mean,
this is the fun stuff, and that's $250 for America. Like, rock on, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, it would be fun. Fun fact: Lou and I are actually going to Epcot this weekend, and there's still a lot of teams here who have the Epcot showcase. So I'm excited to like have a little World Cup touch to that.
And it's gonna be so hot. You guys are gonna be melting.
Yeah, we're big Disney people, but you know, it's gonna be crazy. I would love Morocco, right? Or Cape Verde. Mbappe is my favorite player.
The upsets.
Yeah. No, but Mbappe is my favorite soccer player. So
of course. But I mean, like, I would say like Paraguay beating Germany. Like, you saw the Americans beat Paraguay, and you're like, holy crap! I know it was the first match, like, but they killed them. And then all of a sudden, like, Germany was a heavy favorite. Like, that's an interesting one. But yeah, we'll with Flo, just it changes things. This is like a Mauricio Pochettino. Like, he's got to come up with a different way to do this. And I am curious, you know, I don't know what the money is, but I mean, you got AC Milan, which it kind of seemed like at the beginning of the tournament that, you know, he was a lock to go there. But now with the success of, you know, what he's done with America, I think you write the guy a blank check. And, you know, I don't know, like, I'm curious to see what happens with what he decides to do, especially if they win against Belgium, which I think they still should. I know that they're slightly favored even without Balogun, but I mean, if this team can compete against Spain in that quarterfinal, if this team could somehow beat Spain,
now we got something.
that would be exceeding expectations. So yeah, this country's going to be on fire. Like, I'm excited. But yeah, I think the World Cup, if anything, has brought all of these people into the game of soccer in the United States that never knew anything about it, and it's instantly made them fans. And if you want to have a PC moment, sports, one of the things that I love about it is it truly just has an ability to unite people and bring people together. And whether it's your city, you can find, you know, your teams, and now you have it on the national level for whatever, you know, side of politics that you're on, or, you know, but I think we're starting to see that in America instead of, you know, the Russian couple, you know, climbing the
crazy
tower in New York. And apparently they were already married. And it was like,
Josh, it's all for that.
Well, we used it today too. I used it for marketing to market the show. So hopefully that works. But
a proposal.
No, not that. Come on. But Josh, thank you so much as always for joining us. I know you're going to cover this huge game tomorrow.
So fun.
I'm going to take a nap with my little plushie here.
But Messi's, who makes his home these days here in Miami, is playing in front of a Miami crowd. It's going to be Bedlam tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium. It's called Miami Stadium, but Hard Rock Stadium.
50,000 people from Argentina flew in.
It's extraordinary.
50,000.
That's
over the airport has been nuts. And I'm not talking about people at the match. I'm just talking about people that have come from Argentina.
Want to come in here
just to be around.
Bayside's crazy.
Everything. Yeah.
Man, like when I first moved here, when he came, they were talking about just how he was coming to play for Inter Miami. People were moving to Miami just so that they could be in the same city as him. Ryan Serhant did something with him with the real estate, and he's like, these are the percentages. And I'm like, holy shit. This man is like, I don't know. You got him. I show speed. I can't keep up with any of these like influencers anymore. But it's like Messi's one of one, and I think they win by at least 2. I'll go 3-0 tomorrow.
Wow.
Well, 3-0.
There you go. You're here first. So
Messi might probably get subbed out if they're up 2-0 with like in the 75th minute. He's out of there.
Take him out. Yeah, no doubt. I can see it happening. But hey, listen, as always, thank you. Enjoy that game tomorrow, by the way. And thank you as always for joining us. Let everybody know out there where they can find you, what you got coming up. I always love to see what you got coming up on Sports Extra on Sunday nights. So what's going up? What are you working on?
So you can find me at the Mo's Nose across all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, doing a little more TikTok these days, for the young kids.
Yeah.
Sunday, we got some cool stuff coming. We got, we're working on getting a player from the U.S. national team. Hopefully will join us before Monday's match.
Awesome.
And waiting to finalize that. Shout out Alex Freeman, the kid from right down here. Very excited for him. And going to have Lexi Lawless on the show. So excited for that.
Very cool.
And what else we got going on? We got Giannis's introductory press conference that'll be, here shortly. We can't really release the details, but we got a couple weeks. So if you need to go to Epcot, you'll be fine. Again, it doesn't can't finalize anything until the 6th, so you're good.
You have some Heat training camp coming up. That'll be in the next few weeks.
Summer League starting. Excited for Wayne Ellington to kind of be the head coach of that and take the next step for him. And I'll be in New York for the World Cup final. On the 19th. It's also Fanatics Fest that weekend.
Yes.
So anybody going to New York, Fanatics Fest is wild.
The best.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then like golfing in the mornings, when it's not 1,000,000 degrees outside, getting gym sessions in. Got to maintain a little bit of the fitness. Just gym, tan, laundry, just a douchey sportscaster. This is all I do with my life, I'm like just a vacuous hole of you do a great job. Miami's food scene's the best. Obviously there's something to do here every night. And I'm just excited that people get to see our city for more than just what they think it is and actually get to experience it.
Agreed.
And there's dark sides of it, like there is in every city, but when you find your crew people like you guys, like you do it for your people. And I think that's the best part about what we're seeing in SoFLo. And, we'll talk about the Dolphins in September. I'm not quite ready to get into that. It's gonna be a rough year.
I really came off my tongue, so yeah.
It's gonna be a rough year. But next year, 2027, all of a sudden you got them rolling. You got the Heat maybe in the finals. You're gonna have the Panthers in their like 6th cup in
Marlins.
5. Marlins are gonna I have no
Josh, you're killing me small.
I have more faith in Bruce Sherman moving the team before this team wins a World Series.
Breaking my heart.
That should be a poll. Will the Dolphins or will the Marlins move cities before winning a World Series?
I hope not. We love our baseball.
Baseball's my favorite.
World Baseball Classic. If they could do that atmosphere, it literally took Scotland coming for a World Cup game to make a regular season Marlins game relevant.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I hear you.
All right, game was fun though. I enjoyed it.
It was awesome. No, and you covered that as well. So it's great.
No Scotland, no party.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a blast tomorrow. Continue the great work. We appreciate everything you do.
Yes.
Not only for the station, but being that connection to us, to the South Florida Sports Network, and
he takes us along for the ride.
And enjoy the 4th with you and your family, and have some fun, will you?
Yeah, enjoy Epcot and stay cool. Got to get one of those fans, around your neck.
No, I'm that person. Everything's packed. Oh, no. We're totally good. A little Typhoon Lagoon tomorrow to start, and no, we're set. So
I'm gonna go hang with Lou. You can go. We'll catch up with you in like 2 hours. Lou, I'm gonna text you on the side, Lou.
All right, Josh. Have a good 4th. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. See you, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
All right. Josh is the man. He's always, best
of the best.
He's great. He knows it all. He talks it all, and it's always great to catch up with him. Like I said, I don't know if you saw that picture, but we caught up with him in the draft last week, and I think he took it out. But either way, he had to do literally a newscast, and we were talking, and he's like, "Wait, hold on a second," like, Josh, you got to go. You're on the air in like 5 seconds, but he's the best. So always great to have him on, and he's all over the place. He's going to be covering the World Cup final in New York.
That's so much fun.
Fox has the game, so it's a huge deal. So it's awesome.
All right. So
real quick,
sure.
You mentioned about, he was talking about as well, the Tartan Army coming down and all these. Mm-hmm. It looks like all the visitors who have come into town. I'm shocked that he said 50,000 Argentinians are in town. The stadium only holds about 62, and Cape Verde is going to have some people there as well.
Yeah.
But it's shocking. But by all accounts, all the guests that have come into town and all the cities that have hosted, they're having the time of their lives, and a lot of them are so smitten and taken away with the fact that, like, a Texas Roadhouse gives bread before the meal. That obviously they may not do that over in Europe.
Or the price of a sandwich in Cayocha, that's $24. You may also be shocked with that. Or a mixed drink is $20-something. So on the flip side,
so
too,
there are, and also
expensive.
There's tipping. Tipping culture down here, which is a little bit out of control these days. A lot out of control these days, but they don't tip over there, so they may be a little surprised by that. But for the most part, from landmarks to statues to historic monuments, they've been all over the country, spreading their joy, spreading their fun, and
finances, supporting our economy. Everything's great.
They have, and the lesson here is Americans aren't all that bad after all, are we? We're not. Okay, maybe me, but no. And everybody's been nice. Everybody's had a great time. So love to see it.
Can't wait to see you guys in Vegas, which leads us to the next point. Just this week, we released our first travel that we are going to be doing this year. I know Robert Tracy is in the house here, literally, and he will for sure be joining us. Let me show you guys what we are doing in Vegas. There it is. Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. So I got to take this off. Give me 1 second. So the 2 trips that we are going to be running this year are going to be Vegas in September, and then we're going to have a presence in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So that will be released soon. And so here it is. All right. So in Vegas, it is in September. On Friday, September 11th at 2:30 p.m., we have a private Dolphin fan tour of Allegiant Stadium. We are almost sold out, and the reason why is this is not like a social where there's no, we can accept 1,000 people, whatever. This is limited because it's a private tour. So again, Robert Tracy, who has been here, thank you so much for securing your tickets. We don't really have many left. So if you do want to come on this tour with us, it's 2:30 at Allegiant Stadium. Go ahead and secure your tickets now, because once we are sold out, we literally cannot add any more because it is a private tour. After, we're going to go to a bar, have a fun time, catch up with each other. It'll be great. Yeah, and Allegiant Stadium, by the way, is one of the best stadiums in the NFL. The tour has really a lot of cool aspects to it. We will be going into both locker rooms. We will be seeing the Eternal Flame that Al Davis had with him at the old Coliseum, and also in Oakland. The LA Coliseum, and then in Oakland Coliseum. So that's lit there. And there's just so many awesome aspects of the tour that we'll be able to see. Allegiant Stadium, one of the tops in the NFL. Perfect. And then on Saturday, again, guys, this is just a tease. We're going to get more into this when our upcoming shows, but just to let you guys know, this is almost sold out. And then on Saturday at Stadium Swim at the Circa Hotel, we'll be hosting a Dolphins pool party, fan social at, again, Stadium Swim. This is going to be great because, as you can see in the picture here, you have the pool, and then you have all the big screens. So we're going to watch some college football. So we'll be starting there at 9 o'clock, which will be some of the 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock games. On the East Coast. But over there, obviously, they start earlier. And look, this is the premier setting to watch
college football and any sporting event and sporting events in general and plural, because the fact that, you got, you could do pools in Vegas and have the DJ and the smoke and the, champagne and all that, but this gets right to the point. It's going to be week 1 in the NFL, but this is week 2 in college football. So all the games will be kicking off at 12 o'clock. Here on the East, we'll be kicking off at 9 a.m. on the West Coast, and we're going to be in the ultimate place to watch them. And I'm so excited to go to this place because, like I said, you could even swim up in the pool and make some bets on these games while you're watching them, while you're drinking, while you're having a good time. So, yeah, we can't wait.
It's extraordinary to think that the Hard Rock here does not have something like this. I really feel like they're missing the ball.
Well, again,
are the Canes playing that day? Robert,
they're playing Thursday. Yeah. Robert, they're playing Thursday. They got Pitt on Thursday night, so the Canes will not be playing on that. But we
Saturday. Did look at that.
Yeah. So it'll be we're just going to see the first wave of games and go out there and have a good time.
Yeah. So for this, 2 options. You can either get your tickets online through their website, Circa Stadium Swim, and get the general admission, or we have some premium seating available. You just want to shoot Lou a DM, shoot us an email, that we have some options where we do have some special seating. So either get your general admission to hang out or reach out to Lou to get that premium seating.
Yeah, no doubt. And so, we will see, it's going to be a great time. We'll see what the Dolphins look like getting into that week 1 game. We'll see if Fernando Mendoza is the quarterback for that game. But a lot of questions, but we're going to find out soon enough here, as we're only 2 months away at this point, a little bit over 2 months away from week 1 in Vegas, and we are super looking forward to it.
It's going to be a good time. Yeah.
And so let's take you – would you want to talk about we had a great time in Pensacola as well. We were in we did a whole tour of Florida. I had never been to the Panhandle, been up North Florida, South Florida, down to the Keys, but had never made it out all the way out to the Panhandle of Pensacola, Panama City, to the point where, it was a time change. There's a central time zone in Florida. I didn't know it until I saw the sign that says, hey, you are now entering, central time. And so we ended up taking a tour down to Pensacola, and we saw you talk about the Marlins. We saw the Marlins minor league affiliate, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, and we were able to see a game there. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, no, it was such a great stadium. I'm going to work on some content in the upcoming weeks to show you guys that stadium. But if you ever get to...
Sorry to interrupt. Portugal scored. Just want to put it out there if anybody was watching the game.
It's just a great stadium. So, guys, if you ever find yourself in Pensacola, Alabama area, definitely get to a game. Tickets are so affordable. Food is really, really good. Atmosphere is amazing. And so it was on Friday night. We headed to the game. And that weekend, which was just 2 weekends ago, it was like the first tropical storm of the season, which the storm was in Alabama, but it was still flirting with the Panhandle. And so basically there's just rain in the forecast. The game ended up being delayed for a very, very long time.
Started at 6 o'clock Central Time. So 7 o'clock here at 6
Central time. So we waited it out and waited it out. And a few hours went pretty much the whole ballpark. There was just 12 of us left, meaning just the fans and then the 2 teams. And then the grounds crew, and then maybe a few police officers were the only ones there. And so they ended up, this game resumed at 12:15 a.m. And so this was, as I was saying, at 6:05, there were 3,700 fans at the game after a 7th inning rain delay that lasted 3 hours and 38 minutes. Yes, we stayed. Only 12 fans remained. You could see Lou and I, second row to the left. We were wet, even though we were under the awning. It'd still like pop out a little bit to see if the rain stopped, and then it would just start pouring down. So the game restarted at 12:15 a.m., but then there is this rule within the league that you cannot start another inning after 12:50 a.m. So they were only able to complete the 8th inning. So we only got like 1.5 innings in anyways.
Yeah. So long story short, we stayed till the end, at least whenever the game ended. Russ says, what do we know about rain delays? We used to know about rain delays when we used to play at the old Joe Robbie Stadium. But now that the Marlins play at Lone Depot, there's a roof, so we don't have to worry about rain delays anymore. And that's why we kind of stuck it out, because it's something we don't have to ever worry about at our home ballpark. And this was a tremendous ballpark. We had a great time. And you're definitely going to, release some footage so you can, show everybody and document the experience we had. But
no, it was a great time.
thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to wrap it up. We want to wish you guys a fantastic 4th of July. Be safe, have fun, take it all in, whether you're doing a barbecue, hanging out with a family, hitting the pool, going to the beach, wherever you may be, enjoy it. It's a big one, 250th celebration of America. It's something to celebrate, something to have fun with. And, again, be safe, take it all in, have fun, stay cool because it's very hot outside. So enjoy that. And thank you again for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And we will see you guys next time.
All right, guys. Happy birthday, America. And let's go USA. Soccer. Bye, guys.